What would you give to have had a camera running, film running at that
on
moment,
any
right?
on any of that stuff? You'd have loved it, you know. And it was so ingenuous and so, Marilyn at the beginning. Well, she was always okay, you know. She was just troubled a lot,
Yeah.
and we all had to put up with it. But I didn't find it any problem, you know. I had that kissing scene with her. She was naughty. She was like a mean 7-year-old girl. She'd fall on me and grind me, not only with her mouth, but a few other places. And she'd wait until I got aroused. Then she'd get up off me. I remember Billy would look at
Would that be the definition of mixed emotions? Would you call it that?
yeah, that was not quite mixed, but it was there. But this is what went on.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was fun. I can't think of it as anything less than that, you know. Making that movie was fun.
Now, one of the things about this movie that makes it work and makes it so good is that, and I'm sure this was very carefully thought out, I mean, you guys have to be convincing as women.
We do.
It's not a burlesque.
No, it
So,
doesn't.
so how did you approach that?
Well, you see, the first day that Jack and I dressed up like women, Jack came out of the dressing room first. I kind of knew what his outfit was like. They made it for him. Mine were made a little more subtly, perhaps. And I guess our input to Ori gave him the idea of how we should. When Jack came out, he was like a 20-cent tart. He was chewing gum and his hips swaying left and right, you know, carrying a purse. When I saw him, instinctively I understood that I was not going to do that. So I came out like Grace Kelly or my mother, very, always meticulous. And from that first 2 seconds in the doing wardrobe test, I realized and Jack realized we had it made. That is to say, we knew we were going to blend with each other like two good musicians, that there was going to be no problem of any kind.
So your mother was really kind of a role model?
Well, my mother was, you know, my mother was, could be very aloof and out of it. And I liked the Grace Kelly look. And, you know, every time I stopped talking in the film as a woman, I would purse my lips because my lips looked too straight. So as soon as I would stop. Perfect.
Yeah. It was
perfect.
You got it. I mean,
excuse me. I mean, I just love it to just go in my own head.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the female in me. Jack was the same thing. He would go, "Ooh," you know. So, and it wasn't any more complicated than that. And it was nerve-wracking because that was a period of time where men in dresses didn't get guesses. You know, you just, we didn't talk about that stuff.
Well, the times were different, and there was certainly a more repressive atmosphere at that time.
Look at Marilyn's clothing. It was very advanced. See-through dresses.
Yes.
And Ori Kelly would tie a string just below where her bottom was and draw it to the front of the dress. So that dress would hang right into her buttocks. Now, these were the little things that people didn't know about, but that was it. I mean, that was Ori Kelly, genius in terms of women's clothing.
Now, I read, now you have to tell me if this is true or not, that as brilliant as Ori Kelly was, you outdid him and your co-star in terms of taking care of bodily needs.
Yeah, I did. You know, I saw what was going to happen, and I knew when we got back here and started to shoot here, Marilyn was 2-3 hours late. And Jack and I'd go in the morning at 6:30. We'd do makeup, hair, then go in the wardrobe. And we'd, if you'll excuse the vernacular, empty ourselves. You know, be prepared for a long morning. Then we put on garter hose, we put on a mechanism that didn't make us look like men, all kinds of things. And if we had to go to the bathroom, it was a 20-minute experience. And Jack and I would, and she still wasn't there, but they wouldn't let us go because she's liable to show up any minute. So I devised something that I saw in a movie. I forget now the name of the movie. It was about American pilots, and B-24s in the Second War, where the pilots used to have a little funnel that was in their trouser with a little tube going down, so they never had to go to the bathroom. So I rigged one like that. And Jack said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Never mind, let me show you." And I showed him. He says, "I'm not wearing that." I didn't wear it. I tried it one day. It didn't work.
But it was a very, very resourceful idea.
Well, I liked it. I mean, I enjoyed it. I turned it into a really mathematical equation. You know, Jack and I did. Jack and I would make bets when Marilyn would get it right or wrong. I mean, it sounds like I'm doing a number on Marilyn. I'm not.
Well, no. Well, let's talk honestly about this. That places an enormous burden on everybody on a movie set, especially the two of you who are on camera.
Particularly Jack and me, and particularly me. You know, I could never lose the sense of the joy of it. But nobody prepared her for what we were going to be doing. So it was a little more strenuous and more difficult for me. But never to the point where, you know, there was an expression that I was supposed to have said that kissing Marilyn was like kissing Hitler. I never said it.
The other thing that's amazing is she's so good in the movie.
Fabulous.
She's
That's because
wonderful
Billy
in
Wilder
film.
allowed her to. Her marriage with Arthur Miller was near its end, and they were battling. I could see that in the way they behaved to each other after she finished shooting, so that didn't help.
Did she derive no satisfaction from the fact that she was in a funny movie, doing good work?
No, she didn't.
How sad.
Yeah, really sad. I enjoyed the idea that we were friends earlier, and she did too. But you know, she did. Jack and me, we just were so happy and thrilled we were working, you know?
Let's talk about working in this film and working with a Wilder Diamond script. I've always heard that Billy Wilder was very insistent that there be no deviation from the they crafted that script. You had to stick to it.
Right.
So improvising was not what he was after.
You didn't have to improvise. The dialogue was too good. When I'm in the cabin with Marilyn, with Sugar, and there's this swordfish over the bulkhead, she says, "What is it?" And I said, "That's a member of the herring family." She says, "Isn't it amazing that big fish, they can get them in those little jars?" I said, "They shrink when they're marinated." Now you're gonna, what can you ad-lib that's better than that? They shrink when they're marinated. You know? Goodbye, Charlie. Charlie says to Pat O'Brien, "Well, if they catch me, it'll be goodbye, Charlie." He says, "Goodbye, Charlie." I mean, you know, the dialogue was perfect.
The best writing there was.
God,
yes.
it was, and I'm so thrilled that I ended up in the movie voted the funniest movie of all time.
You should be proud of
That means a lot to me, pal. Means a lot to me. You know, all the comics in town hate me for that. I don't.
And it's just as funny today.
It is.
You know, it hasn't dated really.
No, not at all. Jack's, you know, contribution is magnificent. It was perfect. You know, I remember it. I said, Jesus, I got to tone him down a little bit. I would think as the girl. But you couldn't. He was just, you know, my name is Daphne. Daphne. Geraldine. He said, I never liked the name Geraldine. I mean,
Did you two hit it off as colleagues on screen? Did you feel you just had that chemistry?
We knew each other before the picture started. I got in 48, he came around 53. And we'd see each other socially. We were about the same age. In fact, I may be a year older than Jack. And so therefore we were like perfect middleweights. We were around 167, both standing 5'11". We couldn't throw a punch at each other without parrying it, you know? And that made it fun.
I know one of Jack's favorite scenes, maybe his very favorite scene, is the maracas scene.
Yes, right.
Because I've heard him say this, that it was the timing of it that he was trying so hard to get. How do you do this using these props? And then it just seemed to click. Billy Wilder gave him the clue about what to do.
The clue was a simple one. The basis for it is simple. Let the people laugh at his answers. I'm engaged. Who's the girl? I am. And so
I'm laughing in the retelling.
Yeah, so the audience would hear it. But why would a guy want to marry a guy? Security. So it gave an audience the time to get to. Wasn't that beautiful?
So smart. It's so smart.
Oh. All the other dialogue, you have to go back to see it again and again and again and again. You know, and a lot of wonderful lines in that whole place. You know, that George Raft when Pat O'Brien comes in.